Hey survivors, welcome to the channel. We're going to have a great chat today talking about why is it so hard to get over our narcissist. It's a different kind of relationship, different kind of trauma that we went through. Normal breakup, usually you talk it out, you at least communicate. There are some broken hearts, but it's not built on confusion. The information that you need is right in front of you. Either you both are going off to college, it's just not going to work, or just different hopes and dreams. Maybe you wanted a child and they didn't. You see the oh goodness, I accidentally did something. I do have to apologize. I did hit this for subscribers only due to some recent online harassment. I didn't mean to the 5 minute delay. I can't correct that now. So I'm not trying. It's always nice to get subscribers, but this is to cut down on the harassment. So sorry about the 5 minute delay today, but I will get to your messages. So hang in there. So thank you for that thumbs up. Who's the first one? I think it's John. Who's the first one here? So it's a different kind of relationship, different kind of trauma that we went through. It is John. Good to see you too. I went shopping today, had a great time with my female friends, and we just went to the mall. I finally found some uh, tall jeans. I'm 6'1". It's almost impossible. It's quite expensive too because they're hard to get, but I finally found a pair. I was willing to spend some really good money, but they they had like one pair for me. But good to have you here. So John, feel free to let us know what's going on with you. But as we start to try to heal, we try to understand what went wrong. We want to take accountability for the things that we did wrong. We have to remember, there could have been some things we could have done different, but we didn't. And we have to accept that, it can't change the past. But with the CPTSD that we go through, we have a lot of brain fog, a lot of anxiety, a lot of confusion, and we're trying to make sense of this all. Because a lot of times these discards can happen out of the blue. It's not like that for the narcissist. They love to monkey branch where they secure their second supply before they move on. And they make you feel like it's all your fault. Some of it is inherent in us to where we feel we can fix things. A lot of us have that where sometimes we're codependent. They knock our self-esteem down so much that we're almost in survival mode where we feel that we need them. And it's so intermittent, so confusing that it's almost like we need their validation, because with the silent treatments, that can be extremely devastating. You think you have a relationship with someone, you try to be patient, you try to communicate, you try not to get too anxious, but you have your own feelings starting to stir up inside. And, if they would just handle it as they would come, it wouldn't come into this big explosion that, you know, the real reason the narcissist starts to devalue somebody is they start to hold them accountable. I don't know, John, some of the things that your day was quiet, you took it easy. That's good. Yeah, I had kind of a quiet day, except, I went out to eat and did some shopping. It was just a nice little girl day. I had to blow up my tires. Um, they were flat. One got down to 20 pounds. It was so cold. Like my hands really hurt from having to hold that metal. But I'm glad you had a quiet day. I know housing authority has been working with you, which is fantastic. The judge took some of your evidence into court, which is great. A lot of times with narcissists, the judge will believe the narcissist, and that can be quite frustrating because already, we haven't been heard. And that works because they know the right words to say. And it's so interesting that some of the videos I'm watching on how to get somebody obsessed with you or make a man fall in love with you, all these kind of things are exactly what the narcissist does. And it's not really a healthy way to get someone. People want what they don't have. So even us, when we start to get dismissive, start getting over the person, a lot of times they'll come back. The narcissistic cycle continues. Several times usually, not always, but depends on how strong we are, how much we set our um, uh, boundaries. And it is important to have those boundaries. They come more easily once we start healing. We also have to be real with ourselves, that we don't fall prey to them, because they love to manipulate. They love to have us go against our boundaries. So that's another form of guilt that we start to get. And when we're in this toxic relationship, we become trauma bonded and it's hard to let go. So that's good you haven't seen her around. Has she moved? Because I know she's been wanting to move. I think part of it too, she wants to escape whatever she's going through. A new location isn't going to help her escape. She has like a 10-year plan that I think because of low income housing, possibly. I'm not sure, but she's on like a 10-year waiting list. I don't think I would. I don't think I'd put my life on hold for a 10-year wait list, but we kind of do that with our narcissists sometimes too, that we keep hoping. That's one thing I definitely want you guys not to do. There's Mia. Hello, good evening. Good to have you here. Feel free to join in. We're talking about why it's harder to heal after a relationship with a narcissist. Also, feel free to tell me how your day's going. So the day's almost over for you. I see you say good evening. Some of our viewers will be late nighters. So do you guys like the 9 p.m. on the weekends? And John saying hi to Mia. So when we try to figure it out, we have a lot of guilt. Oh, you gave me a like. Thank you so much for that like. Yeah, let's get this community growing. It'll be exciting. On Monday, I am doing my first podcast. I had told you guys before that my nephew he's doing his research thesis on psychedelics and how it relates to mental illness. So I don't know all that much. I'll be doing some research tomorrow and Monday, but it should be a really good chat. So I will record that. I've been working on the audio. I've been having my mom try to help me figure out the side by side. I didn't get really good audio, so I might have to purchase. Some of these things are like $1,000. Hoping I can figure it out. Reached out to my brother. He does a lot of things like that. He's also a comedian, professional comedian. So um, during COVID, he learned quite a few things. But maybe I'll do that with my brother, have a live comedic evening. It's kind of like that. Whose line is it, anyways? But, as far as how they were telling you, how to get somebody obsessed with you, all the techniques are exactly what a narcissist does just in general. That's just their personality. And, a lot of us feel that the narcissist is winning. Um, are they really winning by manipulating? Eventually that mask does fall. And that's when they go through that devaluation instead of taking accountability and saying, no, I didn't really mean, that's not really me. This is me. And the worst part of it is they turn it around on you, distort your reality. Mia says, Cynthia, how are you feeling? My tummy hurts. I hope a lot better. I know you said you were tired. I hope you had a good day. I did go shopping today. Got some new tall girl jeans. Got my little, look at my sweater. Isn't that cute? I got to get a new, but this is my new sweater. I got to get a new longer gray shirt. But that's the sweater I bought today. So my tummy hurts. There's something going around the school, but I'm hanging in there. Not that bad of a day. Not that bad of a day. Don't really have appetite, but I slept in. Did my girl day with my friends, so that helps. John says I actually saw red flags right away. Yet I still tried to help her out. And that's what we have to be cautious of is a lot of times we think we can help them or, just a little help, but they take advantage of that. It's not going to have them think I'll pay it forward. They're going to hoard it. They're going to reach out for more of it. And, you know, um, that can be quite devastating to us emotionally. We don't realize it in the beginning because, it kind of feels good to help someone. So we're feeling good, they're feeling good. And then eventually we're like, whoa. And you like the color? And it looks good at me. These are my school colors. My school colors are purple and white, not gray, but purple and white. I got real lucky. Purple Isn't that cool? I love having purple as my school color. I didn't like the purple nail polish. I tried doing that, didn't work. So I also had some fun. I just kind of talked to my mom and did a couple videos. I learned a couple new techniques, how to remove watermarks, all that good stuff. Mia says, John, that's what hurts. You see the real flags, and we still try to help. Yeah, and they don't see us for the good people we are. They see us as weak people. And that hurts. We're like, oh my gosh, do you know how hard it was to do that? It's not easy to always, you know, do certain errands or take care of them. And sometimes they'll flip flop between it. Sometimes they appreciate it. Sometimes they hate us for it. Um, but I wanted, oh, dang it. I couldn't remember what it was. Okay. I'm looking this up because this kind of relates to psychology. This is extremely important. Um, because the dynamics really make a difference. So let me see this. Uh, you ready? Do magnets lose polarity over time? And this is, although it takes many years for this to happen, it is possible that magnets can lose their magnetic properties over time. Even permanent magnets, which for many are no longer permanent because they can no longer resist demagnetization. Now, when I was watching that, I'm like, "Ah, that is humans as well, that magnetic draw." So when we you have that magnetic draw, and I told you guys before with the one negative to every five positive, also 1 to 11, one negative to every 11. And if you have more positivity, sometimes that can tear it apart. It's pulling away the polarization, but when it's too much negativity, too close, that it kind of destroys. So even magnets will actually, the closer they are, will lose polarity or magnetization, which I thought was pretty astounding. I didn't realize that. And, with the push pull, it'll maintain that polarity. But if they're put together with no movement, they lose the polarity. So humans are like that too. When we're in this relationship and we're too agreeable and they get what they want, it's going to disintegrate. It's going to lose that magnetization. I thought that was kind of interesting. That's kind of deep. So yeah, it is kind of periwinkle. It's still not. Oh, okay. I don't even know. Well, I don't even know. It's kind of like purple gray glimmer, purple gray glimmer. So it has the illusion of periwinkle, purple gray glitter. So gray is a good color. It matches good with my gray tank top. So thank you for that. So John says they do, Cynthia. I've worked with powerful magnets in some projects, but some lose their strength. So I just thought that was pretty deep, when you relate it to relationships, the push pull. That's why you see that the breakup, but it's extreme. And then it just, the pendulum just starts going crazy. And, you can become devastated because you felt you were rock solid, just like those magnets completely together. And all of a sudden, it's just gone, no movement, no nothing. And it's just gone overnight. Well, it takes a couple years, but there will be that night that has nothing. So interesting, John. Thank you for validating my feelings on that. So, it's a whole different breed of a type of relationship. Plus okay, finally we're working on it. Usually, if you break up with someone, it's kind of like one and done. Maybe you try twice, but sometimes a narcissist, on average, can be up to 7 breakups. So, we've become exhausted. We try new techniques. We hear all these promises. We're doing our part, and you know, uh, with each subs subsequent one subsequent one. Um, sometimes it can be shorter and shorter in duration. People, you can see it with the second and third marriages that people don't learn from it. what happens is they get extra triggers. So, for those of you who are thinking about the new supply, um, did your narcissist change? Are they changing for this person? They're just trying better techniques. They're taking everything they learned from you and giving it to the new supply, which really hurts. A lot of us will get jealous. Like, I begged them to take me there, or, um, but they just get to the point where it's easier or different kind of supply. John says, speaking of magnets, I'm thinking of an idea to make a test vehicle. Oh, John, driven by a magnetic drive. That would be cool. Um, that would be really neat if you could do that. How would you get that to start and stop? I bet there would be something to that though. That could be really cool. John's our super inventor out there. Um, and that's what's nice though. Mia says, Cynthia, your opinion, please. Your view of publicly, don't do it. No, I'll read the whole thing. Publicly outing the narc to the town he lives in. No, I do not. I do not. It will get you slammed. It will get you, he's going to seek revenge on you. And as far as what, you don't have to share if you're not comfortable, but that he broke up with you and was a jerk, or did he do some seedy type things above that? The the only thing is people aren't going to believe you. They're going to be like, oh my God, she's so bitter. Get over it. Um, and then he's going to come back, and they know how to fight. They know how to fight dirty. And I gave an example. Not that my brother's a narcissist, not that he was abusing me, but we were like play fighting, and I kind of hit him once, and he would pummel me. I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that. Um, you're gonna get pummeled. That he stole, lied, and used people. Um, he's not going to like that. He's going to react to that. You're stirring the pot. So maybe some people might believe him or you, but he's going to come after you. He's going to come after you, most likely, especially if you disrupt his perfect little life, cost him a job, or cost him his new love, or kids get taken away, whatever his situation is. But yeah, a lot of times people are just gonna think you're bitter. They're just gonna think you're bitter, and, um, a lot like, I was warned, I didn't believe the lady, she was a friend of mine, and I'm like, "No," and they don't see it until it happens, so you can warn them, and in hindsight, they may be like, "Yeah, Mia told me," but, um, unfortunately, it's gonna come with some severe prices. Are you willing to pay those prices? And it'd be different if people would believe it. You know, I feel that uh, they can be quite dangerous at times. I'd rather play it safe, and the fact that people aren't going to believe you, you could even lose some friends, things like that. It's hard though. When you say publicly outing, him, uh, how in depth are you talking? You know, um, if you called his parents, are they going to believe you? If you called his siblings, are they going to believe you? Um, and I don't know. There's some people who may listen, but the majority won't, and it's going to be a high price you pay. That's why. I just know they can be ruthless, after they discard. So, what can you tell me what your purpose would be in outing him? Is some of it revenge? Do you kinda have that anger? You're trying to get rid of that anger? If you can let me know if you're, comfortable, why you wanna do that, and I can get into that a little bit more. Sometimes why we wanna do things is important too, to realize, our pains, how to heal from our pains. So the purpose of today's topic, and I'll let you type if you feel like it. You don't have to, but I'll talk a little bit while you type. Everybody, I see other people in the chat room. Hello to you. Feel free. You're going to listen? Okay. Oh, to me, I want to tell everyone what he's done to me, but it is better to let it go. I want to let people know he took my stuff and other stuff. And, if you were to call the police right now, are the police gonna do anything about it? They're not gonna believe you. They're gonna tell you don't have any proof. Um, so they're gonna let it go. Same with people. It doesn't affect them really. Uh, and does he even interact with the people? You know, uh, I don't think it's a good idea. The repercussions aren't worth it. Um, and they vary their targets. Not everybody in their life is going to be a target, as far as if they're going to steal from them. Um, some are, opportunistic. Some of them are revenge centered, as far as that they're going to steal or you know, they lie. They lie all the time. The using people, some people are willing. If you call the old lady next door to him, he's only using you. He's only using you for a ride. She's like, yeah, but I get to spend time and drive him, and he's like my grandson, and I enjoy it. So, um, I I wouldn't anger a narc if you can help it. Um, they lack impulse control sometimes, and they have triggers, and that's gonna be one of their triggers. You're just playing with fire by doing that. And yeah, I know it's hard, but if it's revenge centered, you're still in the anger stage. So you say, okay, of course he gets away with another thing. No offense to anyone, but I am so tired of hearing karma, karma. It's been 65 years. Where is his karma? I get you, girl. I was exactly there too. Yep. Mine have the best lives that it seems like. Yeah, but it it seems like we don't know what's going behind closed doors. And they there's Melissa. Hi, Melissa. Good to have you here. Feel free to hit that like button, get the algorithm going so everybody gets notified. Lily might be joining us. She's out. Was a dog defender. I get those two mixed up. I think it's Lily. Got a lot of messages today, but she's out enjoying time with a friend, which is really good. I did that today too. And I just told Mia that, as far as karma, do they get their karma? Sometimes we'll never know what that karma is. We don't know everything that is important to them. So, maybe their car is more important and we think a relationship is more important and we see they have a good relationship, but the car is crap. That's what was important to them. We don't always know what was important to them. Um, and, you know, uh, yeah, the karma is hard, Mia, uh, has it been an easy ride for him? Are you sure? How do you know that? So you struggle, and that's normal. That is normal to still struggle with that anger. They just get to hurt people and live the best life, but they also miss out on really good people. That's part of the karma. And Melissa, I'm going to let you expand on that too, if you feel like you would like to, but I will too. Melissa says, yes, they do have their karma every second. They do have a lot of frustrations and an emptiness inside. So, now this is a thing. Now we feel we have an emptiness. We have anger now. Mia says, I know because I haven't heard he's dead yet or passed away. Um, the thing is, you don't know his struggles, how long has it been for you? I don't remember since you were with them. uh I remember your story, but how long have you guys been apart? I remember bits and pieces. I'm not perfect, my brain gets overloaded sometimes. They feel like living in hell 24/7. um they are easily agitated, and they have the poor pity me. They're never happy with what they have. They get jealous of other people. They do go through ups and downs. They can enjoy, just like, when we're crying and sad, if we get the strength up, we can go enjoy a day at the amusement park or sometimes a movie, but sometimes movies trigger us. I stopped watching movies and listening to the radio after my first one because I'm like, I do not want to hear a song or watch a love story. But karma is different for everyone. Uh, a narcissist told, can what brought that? I'm going to take my sweater off. I'm dying. I turned my heat up because I thought I'd be cold, and I'm not cold. Um, I have one too. Hold on, I look really silly. There's Calibri. Hi. Okay, there we go. I'm overheated. Yeah, I told you about one of my narcissistic neighbors where he was like finally has a girlfriend and he finally has a job. Things are looking up for him, and he's like, I'm just sad. I don't know. Like things should be good right now, and um yeah, he's not. He is not happy. He is an alcoholic. Um, 32 years old, and I'm feeling better. My tummy doesn't feel too good, but I'm doing good. I am doing good. I am alert and went out with my friends, got some new tall girl jeans, which are impossible to find. And good to have you here, Kalibi, saying hi to everybody. And Mia saying hi. So yeah, there are some that definitely live 24/7 in a hell that they're not thankful for what they have. That's never perfect, but I do have some that don't give a fuck. That I asked because they're cousins that live next to me, and they're both kind of interesting. You guys are great. Thanks for those thumbs up. But the other one, they flip flop between taking accountability and then they're not taking accountability, but they're like on opposite ends. One's a grandiose and one's a vulnerable. But the other one, I asked, how do you feel when people don't get back to you? And he's like, well, duh, people just have their own lives. And I don't necessarily know that relates to relationships, but they can turn that switch off. Um, Thank you, Melissa. Thanks for hitting that like button. Kalibi says, "Oh, these narcs are never satisfied," and yeah, so that can be a living hell, like Melissa said, and. When you do, there are times that they are honest. So, Melissa, can you tell me, do you feel that they were honest at that time? Because I feel that he was honest at that time. But he also does, that time I honestly believe he was, yeah, yep. So there are times they will be honest with you. Um, sometimes it's for sympathy. Like, I just told you, you know, we share things just like I told you my stomach doesn't feel good. I'm just sharing that. I don't need you guys to, give me a care package or turn this into where it's focusing on my health or anything like that. But it's nice when somebody says I care about you, but it's a statement, and I think that's what he was doing, was just a statement. So whatever you own that they happen to like, they get envious. Yeah, they're not happy for you. Even if they don't say it, something in their head clicks. And if you get too much, they never feel positive. And that's what I had said too, is they have a different way of looking at things, that they will pull from the negative. If you say something like, I really wish you could have stopped by Friday. I was so looking forward to it. I know you had to work, but um, I can't wait to cook for you. And I had a chicken dinner, and they're like, "Oh, so now I suck at being a boyfriend because I had to work." And you're like, "Oh, I was trying to be nice. Like I'm looking forward to it, and I understand you couldn't be there, but I can't wait." And they focus on the negative, whatever the negative is in that statement, or they twist it to where it's negative, not even necessarily that it was meant that way. Once they get into that hypersensitivity, that's during that devaluation stage. As soon as that little peak past that mask, um, Kalibi says it's their entitlement that you don't deserve what they see in you. Yeah. So I know, they won't encourage you to get certain jobs. Or they'll make you question yourself, and like, are you sure you can do that job? Are you sure you're qualified? And you're like, yeah, John says, in my situation, this girl was coming over to watch movies every night and then just stopped. Yep. And you wonder, like, we have a really good thing going, and sometimes you can go, okay, all right, maybe it's a little too much, you got to clean your apartment, or you want to work on your um, exercising habits, so we can only do it 2 days a week, but they just stop. And you reach out and you're like, I don't think I offended you, and we don't have to do it every night. And it's bewildering. Like, we did like each other. Like, for us to do this for however long, we got to be careful that we don't expect things in a dating situation that um there are times somebody needs a little bit of a break. She said, look, I want to start knitting. I'm going to go to a knitting class on Thursdays. We have to let them live their own lives as well. And sometimes it can be hard when they break the pattern. But when it's a complete stop, it's like, oh my gosh, we can't even talk on the phone and you don't text me back. The way they text, too, can be quite uh, difficult. That during that devaluation stage, a lot of times they don't get back to you, or they give you one word answers. Um, and they get confusing. So we start getting frustrated, like, geez, just answer the phone. And then we over communicate, which they hate. And it starts pushing them away. And then we start feeling guilty. So we feel like we should apologize, and then push, push, push. And, sometimes we have to back off too. But it's like, geez, let's be adults. Can't you just, yeah. It's hard. We get caught up in it too. Everybody has triggers. Everybody has some narcissism. Jen says, you're right. She started putting things off and not responding to text messages. And, sometimes too, they can cause us to worry too. Like, they'll tell us they have some health situation, or, somebody passed away. And, we feel bad for them, and we want to be there for them even more. We're trying to show, I'm trying to be supportive. And it's like, to them, it's like, oh my God, that's so stupid. Like, this didn't even happen. And then if they get back to us, let's say they went on a date and supposedly they're supposed to be at the hospital, they're going to give you some lie, like, oh, I'm not going to look my best. I'd rather not. I'll contact you later. So you wait a week thinking they're in the hospital, and then they don't even contact you. So now you're like, are they dead? Um, and nothing's adding up. You try to be respectful, try not to micromanage or check up on them. But as soon as that trust is gone, they can't get away with stuff, and they don't want to be held accountable. So, we're sitting here like, man, I feel bad that I did this, but it was reactive abuse. Also, whenever we try to defend ourselves, um, for some of the things where we're like, we didn't do that. It's that projection. And that can be really difficult. So just like wh- uh, how you went through with the stealing of all your supplies and stuff. People don't believe you sometimes, and that hurts, especially the people that are close to you. You're like, I am not making this up. But I love that you said that they never feel positive. Yeah, they can have bouts of it. Um, but deep down, they do know who they are, you know? Um, have any of yours said that they knew that they didn't treat you quite right? I had both of mine say that. So they know what they're up to. If you see the self-aware ones too, they know what they did wrong. They also say they just, sometimes it'll pop into their head, but then they're like, nah. And I was watching Cluster B Milkshake. I like her, but she was saying, I don't want my ex-husband to die. If he did, I wouldn't get my child support. Um, and she said get things from him, but I think she meant child support, or could be school clothes, whatever, for the kids. But it is about supply. And it's kinda I call it panic buying. When they get into a new supply, it's like panic buying that they have to grab on. They don't vet, they don't, interview their life partners. That's why they don't work out. It can go with the flow because the new supply could be dedicated and, with the low self-esteem, they might not see what's going through, or they might, accept the narcissist's actions because they can't take, um, putting up the boundaries. So, if any of you are struggling with some things tonight, feel free to let me know. And, when we are healing, it's extremely important that we take the steps to recognize where we're hurting. So I know some of us are angry about the karma. When is it going to come? So, as far as karma, we're giving ourselves bad karma right now. If we're not working on healing, we're giving ourselves a life that's not fulfilled. So, the best karma, they say, is to live your best life. For them to look back, if they ever touch, cross paths or hear about us, that whoa, I really did give somebody up that I possibly shouldn't have. And the cons of being stuck in rumination and anger is we lose our fullest life. So we have to accept it's over, and let go. And if it's meant to be, we know it's toxic. Possibly we keep hoping that they're going to change. You have to let the polarization change, um the vibrations, all that stuff. But where we are now, if you're upset with your person, it's going to come out. You're going to be quick to be triggered too. So it's not a healthy time, even if you wanted to get back with them. Some of us are so over our person, we just want to get over the pain. And there's steps we can do for that. Kalibi says karma hits the narcs every day. They just know how to cover it up. And Kalibi says karma makes their brains all scrambled. And part of it, they have a hard time remembering things, or they remember things incorrectly. So even if they're trying to have a good day, they're going to say the wrong things. And um, they're not always trying to trigger someone. They're not always trying to manipulate, but they forget lies. So they got to fill the holes in. And, you know, uh, they don't know their own reality. So just like us, and they talk about the mirroring, how in the love bombing stage, we're mirroring each other. They're mirroring us, but in the end, we're mirroring them. So that's where the change goes, because two authentic people will marry mirror each other and just kind of help each other with that little zap. But usually that's not as exciting. So we can be attracted to narcissists because of something that we were missing, whether we had to be the good little Catholic schoolgirl and we wanted to be the wild child, that depending on how restricted we were, will kind of try to bring it. If we were mildly restricted, we're going to get somebody who's mildly wild, and it fills their void. They were too wild, but they wanted to be controlled and treated the right way, like a parent should. And it's interesting how it all balances out. We're all trying to fill voids that were in our relationship, our upbringing. And so in the healing process, the things that we can do is let go of the narcissist. They're not in our lives. If you call them right now, are they going to answer? If you ask them to come over, are they going to be there for you? And if the answer is no, then they don't need to be living in our head, like they say, rent free. That we have to put that out. And another thing too that I was listening to is, as far as the dopamine hits, that you know people, it's almost like, if you're kind of an even keeled person, you have healthy, predictable dopamine hits, but with the narcissist, it's, um, sporadic for them too. And they were talking about like runners and but like the higher the dopamine, all these extra hits, that eventually nothing is going to satisfy you. So the more thrill seeking, the more this, the more that, it's just never going to be good enough. Just like gamblers or drug addicts, possibly alcohol, that it's never enough. And the body becomes numb to it, the brain becomes numb to it, and it's just a life of um, being in withdrawal. Is kind of what it is. So we're kind of going through our withdrawal it's withdrawal, and it's painful. It is painful, but we gotta get, healthy again, where we don't have intermittent reinforcement from people where, you can, see that, of course, people can't always get back to you, so don't put it on a 15-minute limit that they gotta get back to you, but, the people that care about you, 1 or 2 days that they can't get back to you, um, you know, uh are they really interested in being there? You know, and we got to make sure that we're good friends too, because we're going through some trauma that we might just want to sleep, or we might want to blow off plans. I told you I don't feel the best today, but I still went. I still went, and I'm really glad that I did this. I've been doing this a lot where I'm not backing out of plans, unless it's absolutely necessary. Uh, but you know, when you're a better friend, your friends are gonna be better too. It does all fall into place. So as far as your brains being all scrambled, there, I got some more people. Feel free to join in, guys. Let me know if you want to discuss anything. We got a lot going on tonight. And I'm really good at flip-flopping between different topics. So yeah, I see that you guys hit that like button, but the brain is scrambled. The neural transmitters aren't, and the neurons aren't communicating. You see the um, brain shrinkage, and that happens in their childhood. And that's why they act like children. Their brain never fully develops. So they'll throw temper tantrums, act out, and when they talk, they get loud. I related to the kids at school. They get loud. I had this one little girl. She's like, "Do you want to take a picture of me?" And I'm like, "Sure." Um, but they're so focused on themselves, and it just reminded me of like, some little Instagram model or something. Like, "Do you want to take a picture of me?" Like, where'd this come from? But that's kind of what the narcissist is like too. They are like children. It really is. I wish I could invite you guys. That's where we could do the convention um, at my elementary school. You could see exactly what I'm talking about. But it's interesting how so many of us have gone through so many like scenarios that, if you're wondering if your person was a narcissist, you start hearing these stories, and it kind of adds up. Whether they have actual narcissistic personality disorder, um, you need 5 out of 9 traits. Some have 6, 7, 8, 9 of those traits. And also comorbidities. I just did a video on um, paranoid personality disorder. So there's so many different personality disorders, the cluster A, B, and C. So NPD is a cluster B um, personality disorder, um, and it it just infects any relationship. The closer you are, the higher the dose of infection is kind of how I like to look at it. That you're their target, you're their punching bag, and the more you try, they take it for granted. They see it as a weakness, and it's really hard during that devaluation stage. You feel them slipping away. You don't want them to go because you're trauma bonded to them, and it's just gonna fall apart, same with the new supply. So as far as them getting their karma, you know, uh, I'm not sure if you told me how long it's been, um, but you don't know how many people he's been through, how many relationships has he destroyed, any STDs or infections, and any health issues, that's why it's really important for us to get healthy emotionally because it will wreak havoc on your body. And um, what were their health issues? So I know there are good people that have health issues. Some people are born. I had um, how's he related to me? My cousin's son had born pretty much with cancer, colon or intestinal cancer, something like that. Um, but it's not always evil people who have health issues, But stress can really cause some problems for some people. Oh, you guys are typing. Oh my goodness. So I'm sorry, I didn't scroll down. You guys are awesome. So I was talking so much because I didn't see. So Calibri says, "Hey John." Mia says, "Hello, K Flyer." Back at ya, Mia. Says Calibri. Sorry guys, I was waiting for you to type and I didn't realize you were. So thank you. Melissa hit the like button too. Calibri, oh, you guys are so patient. Calibri says, "Oh, these narcs are never satisfied. Whatever you own that they happen to like, they get envious." Did I already read this? I already read it. Are you guys typing? Hold on. So Klibi says, "This is what I understand from Dr. Phil. There's no such thing as narc light. Like or light. If the person possesses one or two, oh, okay. Narc elements, he or she is a narc. Um, uh, then we all are. We all are. You know. And in a sense, I see what he's saying. I don't agree with everything Dr. Phil does. Um, he has sometimes some really good insight. Other times, he comes across as a narcissist. I remember that one video with I think she was a 16-year-old girl, and she had something going on with her mom, and she specifically asked him not to bring mom on. She really didn't want to see him. You got to remember, she's 16. She's trying to be, you got to think about the nerves going on national television, and she's trying to be respectful, and she's just kind of hurt. She's like, you brought somebody on that I specifically said not to have here. And he did not like that. She was kind of bold, she's still learning how to set her boundaries and speak of her boundaries. Man, he ripped her a new one. Um, and the holier than thou. So sometimes he's really good. Sometimes he can be kind of damaging. But we all have some faults. There are times that, we've lied. There are times that like, oh fuck, I don't want to tell them because they're gonna lose their cool. Sometimes I don't want to say, yeah, you are fat as fuck. I mean, we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. So you know, uh Dog Defender is here. Good to have you here. You were stuck in the garden. Oh my God, Dr. Phil, a nightmare. I was on the show as one of many couples. It was so crazy. Tell us your story. Oh, was it about your narcissist? There are times that he has good information, just like the self-aware narcissist. But I think sometimes he bleeds through, and um, yeah. So I would say they're narcissistic. That's what I've been saying in my videos. I use that term. It's kind of the way we talk about it is narcissistic. But for narcissistic personality disorder, they sometimes don't even have that empathy. And it's used to manipulate. This is where the key is. So, Kalibri, with your statement, um, if I tell you, "Oh, you look nice in that outfit," and I'm like, "Oh, it does not flatter you. I'm just trying not to hurt you. I'm not trying to get you to sleep with me. I'm not trying to get money from you or for you to like me. I don't want you to hurt." So that could be like, you lied to me. You didn't tell me what you really thought. So the manipulation is kind of the difference between, I guess they call healthy narcissism. You know, sometimes too, it's encouraging where, you tell me, I don't know if I can go back to school. And, you know, if I say, you're not going to get anywhere if you just give up. Are you just giving up? You're just, um, and it's like, whoa, you think I'm a quitter? Are you going to be a quitter? And that's to motivate you, not to hurt you, but also, sometimes we need to let people make their own decisions. So I'm glad you're here. Tell me more. Marriage boot camp. Was any of it healthy or helpful? Was it a go away boot camp, or was it a one time show? I was on Hardcore Pawn. Did you see me on that? I was on that. Way different. But very interesting. Cluster B personality traits. So you guys, was he there? It sounds like it. Oh my gosh. Uh, oh, tell me as much as you want to tell me. I try to let you guys uh, not share if you don't want to share, but I'm interested. It was a joke. What part of it was a joke? Was it just be nice to each other? Okay. John saying, hey, the dog. Dog depressed is saying, hey, back. And sometimes too, the advice that's out there. I don't know. I didn't like the way he presented himself that time. Sometimes I agree with them, sometimes I don't. But interesting. How many couples were there? Did they and that's the thing, like sometimes too, I don't know how in depth Dr. Phil got with you. Was he asking, is it physically abusive, sexually abusive, or was he like, oh, you guys aren't getting along, this is what you need to do to fix it? And each person's different. If you don't understand the person, you can say you guys need to cuddle more. You need to have Friday night cuddle night and just sit and watch a movie. And it's like that person, possibly was a rape victim, and it's like they are uncomfortable feeling smothered. You have to know each individual person to give personalized advice instead of flat advice. That's why it's really nice that we can have a live chat where it can kind of be customized to your situation because, you know, Melissa says, narcissist told me he hates his false self. So, was this were you dating this one? Because there's so many narcissists out there. Um, because that's pretty vulnerable. And was that in the beginning or the end of the relationship? Because sometimes they will tell you in the beginning, but during the discard, if you're like, look, I understand you're struggling. I'm not struggling with this. And, um, or sometimes they'll say it to get you back. So there's no cut and dry on them. But yeah, sometimes they see it. I think a lot of them do. Uh, some, and there are some that have some empathy. Some reflect back, and like I said, that's where the 5 to 9. Did he have all 9 or just 5 of them, or was he diagnosed as having MPD? Because he might only had 4. So the severity of it changes, how much they reflect, how much they regret. So dog says yes, and his list of rules were insane. He was very haughty, and I see him as that, and arrogant, and I've seen him snap a lot. Not about abuse, marriage. No, no. Just before you guys were breaking up, like do this task, and they will tell you if you will be compatible or if you should. Or if you should marry each other based on how well you did things together. Interesting. Yeah, and it goes to love, like, uh, I could I could clean the kitchen with you. I could, um, you know, do whatever, go to church with you or, uh, yeah, that's not always that's crazy. Um, before getting married. Yeah. Huh. It'd be so interesting to see. I don't know how many couples were there, but to see how many of them are still married today, or did get married. Um, so it was a friend. Okay. But was he diagnosed, or is this your interpretation? A lot of times you could be right. I'm just wondering if he was actually diagnosed, um, because it is interesting. Yeah, sometimes they can do that though. That's very vulnerable. So that's the other thing too, is if it's friend to friend, was it male friend? You said, yeah, male, female. I can see that being a little more open. I have some male friends, and they tell me a lot, and but in a actual relationship, like a lovership, sometimes people are too afraid to open up. That's why they'll use their male female friend. Very interesting, Melissa. Thank you for sharing that. Kalibi says another narc abuse support vlogger is Tammy M. Joyce. She's very thorough in her evaluations and tips. I will look her up. I don't think I know her. I'm expanding out, though. I've been looking at more people. That doesn't ring a bell, but I don't always look at names. I need to start looking at names. So Dog says it was stressful situations like assemble a crib without directions. And that's the thing though, like, did they try to make you do that? Because the thing is, it's like, if you know you're being watched, people are usually on their best um, behavior, you know, and it usually comes over time. I don't think I know her, Calibri. I don't know Tammy. Um, I'll have to check her out though. I wrote her name down. And Mia says hi to Dog Defender. So Dog says, get to a store with wrong directions and stay calm and work together, etc. Okay, so you can go to Walmart together. Let's get married. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. And none of that deals with the depth of the relationship. That's what you do with a roommate. So he just focused on roommate stuff, um, not marriage stuff. There's a difference. You know, do you love each other? Are you compatible physically? Similar libido, and if it's different, what do you do about it? Um, you know, are you going to be offended? Are you going to feel dismissed? How are you going to deal with it? As opposed to put a crib together. So Dog is saying hi to everybody, and yeah, it is a joke. It's like, okay, so we can build a crib. Uh, we don't want kids, or we're gay, or whatever. You know, unable to have kids, um, unless we adopt. But yeah. Well, I bet you look beautiful and it was probably fun. Do they pay you for that? Do they pay you? I got you want to hear about my television stardom fee? I made 50 bucks. Made 50 bucks. And then I was able to sell. They wanted me to pawn my stuff, and it didn't go through on the show, but afterwards they bought some stuff from me, and um, they bought stuff from me and then pawned it to the people in the audience, in the store. So I guess 150 bucks or whatever. But I drove from across state, so my gas cost more. But it was fun. I did it twice. Um, but a lot of the shows, you know, like Jerry Springer, stuff like that, uh, you know, they even have scripts for the people sometimes. And um, I know there are some where they actually do uh, have like real stories, but it's getting to the point where we don't know what's real, we don't know what's not. And um, I was watching this one on a grandma lady. She had utilized her TikTok. How does she? She got $15,000 because you guys can hit that like monetization. There's like a little money sign or something like that. Um, do I have an accent? I'll let you guess and I'll tell you. So you got to guess first and then I'll tell you. Um, but I will tell you. You have to guess first. um, but so, you know, from the donations and things like that that people were giving her. Why did they give her money? I can't remember. Um, but she had was this like beautiful lady, but she was stealing somebody else's pictures and altering them a little bit. And it was just this big fraud, and, I guess she was doing this one little video, and there's a glitch. So you have, pretty young face, grandma face, pretty young face, and so she's trying to lie her way through it, and, um it's just a big old mess. And you just hear that she's making up stories. The stories aren't making sense. She's not apologizing. Then she takes um, ownership of it because she's like, there's no way out. So she starts saying this, but it was like her mother, and she was talking off in the background. So it's kind of taking ownership that was an old lady, but I'm still keeping with the scam. So she can't do TikTok or any social media for 5 years. So let's see if Mia told me where she thinks. You're not answering? She's thinking. She's thinking. I will tell you, I promise. Everybody got quiet. um, okay, I will wait 2 more minutes. You can tell me if you don't want to guess if I'm making you mad. Um, but yeah, I'll tell you. Uh, so you're going to say, let's see. And then I want to know why. But oh, close. MI, Michigan. Michigan. Yeah, like, Minnesota is really cold. Is that colder than Michigan? I think Montana is what I'm thinking. Um, so MI, but Michigan. So is it my accent? Do I have an accent? I don't say y'all. Do they say y'all there? um, so yeah. Life after the narcissist. How do we cope with it? We have to start balancing our depression with a little bit of dopamine. We got to get out there and give us some serotonin, increase our vitamin D, enjoy that sunshine if you can get any. We have, I think, 43 days in Michigan where it's sunny because it's always so overcast, but um, you can go through some seasonal depression too. We're in the winter months right now. It's January 28th, 2023. Um, and it can be something real, that, you know, um, John says, just so you know, my phone time ends tomorrow. Oh no. Oh, Johnny John. Okay. Yeah. Have you checked into there's some like government assistance type stuff. I don't know how that works. That might only be for uh just 911 calls. I think you get some. I don't know. Um I think my friend uh I think she gets it, but her boyfriend doesn't. She's on disability, so I don't know if you have to have something like that to qualify. But um how does she do it? No, she can call me from the phone. There's times too that, like FaceTime. But John, thank you for letting me know. I know you have been so loyal. You've been here. We've been doing this, what, 5, 6 weeks? 6 weeks? We definitely had our Christmas and New Year's party together, and it was really nice. It really helped me through a hard time. And hopefully it helped you guys as well. I was home alone. Mom was in the hospital. My dad's gone. So, um, mom hopefully will come home February 2nd, so we'll see on that. But and if you guys, it's up to you, but if you want to share some of the struggles, what are some of the struggles that you have? I know with me, Mia says, you seem to be a kindred spirit, such a gentle demeanor, calming spirit. Please say again if you did what state. Am here on the East Coast. I'm in Michigan. Michigan. So I've been to South Carolina, Florida, California, Tennessee, so I've lived in a couple different places, Indiana for a little while, um, uh, Ohio for 3 weeks, does that count? So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with who I am, you're in the Northwest. Yeah, and we were talking, what is it, John? You remember, what is it, 5,000 subscribers? We're gonna start doing some, like conventions, some meetups. I would love to do that. I don't know how big scale will be, but in time, I would love to do like some really cool, informational, even just fun activities. Mia says lots of nice kindred spirits coming from Michigan. That's because my Mom had a couple kids. Um, yeah, and it's interesting. I went down, your girlfriend's parents lived in South Carolina. I lived in, I can't remember, Greensboro? I can't remember what it's called, Greenville, South Carolina, and South, um, Myrtle Beach for a while. I got stung by a man-o-war jellyfish. Sacramento, that was so hot. How about 3,000? If I get 3,000 by the summer, I will spend my summer with you guys. So I'm getting closer to 2,000. It can happen. I've been really working on it. I know I get more subscribers when I do the shorts. I get quite a bit more. And they take, just a couple minutes. um, but I'm gonna redo the channel a little bit so it's better. Uh, Oh, no, you're not. Pennsylvania, there's somebody else that is in our channel. And Pennsylvania is like 5 hours from me. I don't know where you are in Pennsylvania, but maybe we'll go to Niagara Falls and have something there. Uh, I'd like to go somewhere like Florida. I like it there. Pumping those tires up today were really cold on my hands. That hurt. Um, but I like splunking, going through the caves. I like rappelling and whitewater rafting, and we can figure out something. We can just have like a really good memory I had is I went to a place called Wheels Inn. I don't know if they still have it. It was in Canada. Melissa's Mia says, Melissa, Washington State, never did I ever hear anything bad about the state. I don't know very much about Washington. I had a friend that was from there. She was from Seattle, and she just said it rained a lot. That's what I remember. She seemed content out there. You live in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Is that close to Geneva? Do you know where Geneva is? I almost moved out there. I had a crush on somebody. I went to go to Geneva College. It was a Christian college. I'm like, but I ended up not. I still remember. A little cutie. Close to where? Geneva. I don't know Pennsylvania that well. Is it Pittsburgh, then Philadelphia, and then Geneva would be like down here, um, from Lebanon? If this was Pennsylvania, somewhere, I know I'm from Michigan, but it's somewhere, I wanna say, like, around here. So you got, like, Michigan and all that, New York or whatever, but it's somewhere around here in, Pennsylvania. I always got it mixed up too, like, people are like, "I'm from Philadelphia." I'm like, "What city?" Like, I know that's the city for whatever reason. But we'll figure that out. Feel free to let me know. 3,000, if we get 3,000 by this summer, we'll get that going. I'd love to grow this channel, though. I'm still trying to learn exactly, how to expand it out because I really like how we help each other out. Some great stories we found out. We got some famous Dr. Phil people in here, and we're getting to know each other better, And John helping with that magnet thing. That's fantastic. You heard there's giant ants and scorpions in Arizona. No, we're not going there. Scorpions. My ex's friend got bit by one. He had like I can't remember if he had his leg amputated, but I know it ate like a huge hole in his leg. I can't say for sure. I think he got it amputated. And then I had my brown recluse spider bite, which is much better. Can you see it? That's my brown recluse spider bite getting better. Um, so Pittsburgh is 8 hours west of you. Oh, okay. I have a friend in Maine. We can go up to Maine, and I don't even know if that would be closer for you. Oh gosh. The I want to say Pontchartrain. Where is it that everybody goes? A honeymoon state or city. Begins with a P. Never went there though. Southwest, I have heard of Geneva, but don't know where it is. And John, you're scaring us. Scorpion. When I was in China, oh my God, talking about scorpions. We're walking down the what do they even call it? Street market. And they just have these like buckets. They're not even just buckets of all these scorpions crawling all over each other, and they're taking chopsticks and 1, 2, 3. They eat them. Like, oh god, that's so creepy. Some of the kids wanted them for pets, and others were for food. But Pocono Mountains, that'd be beautiful. Um, yeah, mountains. I like mountains too. John says there was a 1950s movie called Them about giant 8-foot ants in the Mojave Desert. Oh, no, thank you. 8-foot ants? I'm 6'1". You could devour me. Mia says honeymoon place. That's about 6 hours, I believe, from me going up the state of PA, driving up, I mean. Yeah, we probably won't go to, like, the honeymoon place, but it'd be neat to do something where I don't even know, there's hot tubs or, something to pamper ourselves. Or even just a beautiful outdoor setting or camping, I don't care. We're gonna do something, um, 'cause, we deserve, to enjoy life, and, as we're building this community, we're gonna know some of these people. Dog says there are horrid scorpions in Hawaii. Oh, are there? I wouldn't doubt it because of the temperature. Florida too, though, right? Doesn't Florida that's where, my ex's friend got bit, was down in Florida. He was, like, sleeping, like, camping or something. Um, but what was that, with the, 5 cops that, Tyree that just killed that man? Wasn't that what they were called, the Scorpion Squad or something like that? They ended up, disabling that. They're not doing that anymore. It was Scorpions, wasn't it? Um, Pennsylvania is nice if you're a nun or old. And my grandparents who were atheists, they went to, New Jersey, and they hated it. They said that's what it was like, where everybody was trying to shove religion down their face, and they did not like it. My dad would have loved it, but, and that's the thing, like, I love my dad, but he was too pushy with religion, unfortunately. He had the kindest heart, and he wanted to, share his love and, quote, unquote, "save people," because it was that important to him. He had so much love, he wanted everybody in heaven and had the best life, but unfortunately, I think he turned quite a few people away by, oversharing, I guess. Sometimes, we have to give people the chance to be open to things. And, when they set their boundaries, we do have to accept that, and that was hard for him because of his viewpoint on it all. So let me see if you guys are still typing away or if okay. So, as far as a brain fog, I have a lot going on when I have almost 30 kids in the art room and trying to do two different things, keeping the kids safe more than two different things. I got all these kids, they just adore me, so they're always like trying to swarm around me. And I'm really trying to concentrate on this one thing. And this one little boy, he's the kindest little soul. Um, and I said, "Oh, sorry, I spaced out." Because one time I did space out. Like, I'm processing, I had a blank, and you know how you kind of like, so I said I'm spacing out. So other times I'm trying to concentrate. He's like, "Miss Schiller, I think it's happening again." S so I think the kid thinks I'm the spaciest person in the world when it's like, I'm just trying to concentrate. But we get overloaded, you know? So you say Jersey is sad, a lot of pollution, factories. So sorry if I'd rather be in Jersey. Pennsylvania is in a time warp. That's what I hear, is that it is in a time warp. I had cheerleading camp when I was a college cheerleader. I had it at Rutgers. So talking about that though is my first plane ride and all alone, going to this new place. And I was kind of scared. I have an uncle that died in a plane crash. I was real nervous about it. And I got so nervous I almost passed out that I start seeing like the stars. Why did I got to remember why you start seeing stars? Ah, I have it in another video. Um, yeah, I can look that up. But so, when things start to get overwhelming, that our body reacts to it. I was a little too scared, and my body's like, "Do we just pass out?" Because I know when I caught on fire, I have a portion of time that's blacked out. Also, when I went whitewater rafting, so have some um, where your brain shuts down. You get too scared. And why do we see the white? I can't remember. Uh, why do we see stars? Um, can't remember. It's pretty interesting. I thought, if I remember correctly. Um, I take it you don't like the Pennsylvania Dutch. Have you ever done that with the Pennsylvania Dutch? Because I'm Dutch, and I would go there, and that was kind of neat seeing all that. They also had the Quakers. Um, why do we see stars when dizzy at night? Duh. Um, the vitreous gel that is in front of the retina can move around, sometimes pulling on the retina itself. Hold on, wait a minute. What is seeing stars a symptom of? Oh, it could be. No, that's not what I wanted. Um, low blood pressure can cause people to see stars or specks of light. Um, oh, oh, yeah. Confusion or feeling as if in a fog. Amnesia surrounding the traumatic event. Now I'll have to look that up later. It was interesting. I have it in a different video. Dog says, I'm trying to switch you from phone to TV. Uh-oh, larger than life. I'm currently in hyperspace. I don't know if you have to relog in. Um, I don't know. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Uh, Dog says it wouldn't work. So here we are. If you relog in, I'm still going to be on. I think you just have to turn it, close out of your phone and then try to do it. It should work. It should work. Um, that's up to you. But I know it's kind of crazy. I've heard some of my friends are like, "Yeah, I saw you on my TV." I'm like, "Oh gosh." And Dog says, "No, I do it a lot, but not tonight." Oh, it's your internet. Okay. Yeah. And that can happen. If any of you know, I'm for the podcast that I'm doing on Monday about the psychedelics and mental illness. I was practicing with my mom, and I did the like split screen and stuff and trying to record it. I couldn't get her sound consistent. Um, so I'm a little worried. If you guys know anything about that, though. Uh, Dog says, I don't care for Arizona, but I'm part of a group that is searching the desert in Buckeye to find a missing young man. They are only letting his dad search one more time. Oh, oh, he's probably so desperate to find him too. Um, 6/13/21. Why are they limiting it? They just think it's gonna be fruitless. Uh, oh, that's gotta be so stressful. I couldn't imagine, you know, where you don't want to give up and you're told you have to. Um, hopefully, if they find them, closure is important. Um, Dog says, his case I've been on since day one. No, they are building a smart city, aka cover up. Um, I don't know the story. Do you think the city is involved in it, or uh, there's one place out that way um, that it's uh, it's either like 1 mile square wide or 3 miles square wide, maybe up to 5 by 5 or something. It's really small, but there are no laws there, and uh, it's like hell on earth. I wish I could remember the name of it, but yeah, it's out that way. I don't even think it's federal. It's kind of interesting. Uh, Calibri says, Sister Mary Calibri is listening and reading. Who's bad mouthing my PA? Sister Mary Calibri, is that your nickname? Or do you know as Sister Mary? Is that your nickname? Or are you just giving yourself that? Calibri takes that quite seriously. Um, So, Calibri, are you a nun? Is that why you're welcome there? And that's the thing, different strokes for different folks. Um, it's all on the stroke. But a lot of us are comfortable with what we're used to, if that's where you grew up, or we want the opposite of what we grew up from. But people are creatures of habit. And, I guess what I had for I told you guys I went out to eat. Who can guess what I had today? Guess what I had for lunch at the Red Robin? I'll let you. Do you guys have Red Robins all over the place? A dog says the desert is partial federal land. Lots of trouble with police department. I bet. Mia, so sorry, Mrs. K Flyer. Just stating my opinion. No offense to you personally in any way. My apologies to you, Mrs. K Flyer. So, um, Calibri is a man, and I think he was being sarcastic, where he's like, "You can call me Sister Mary," because we talked about the nuns. So, you're right, dog defender, but I mixed it up, got a little wild with some grilled chicken on it this time. So, I just love them. I love salads. I don't know. That's what I had for dinner too. I used to have the biggest sweet tooth. I have no sweet tooth whatsoever at all. I used to love chocolate, and I know. Shh. Oh, dang it, this is a worldwide YouTube. I know. I'm a rebel. Yeah, and when I don't know, they make me feel better. I don't know. They're light, and you can switch them up however you want. Tomorrow I have to cook up some ground beef, so I'll probably have taco meat on top of my salad. Um, so Chloe says, just kidding, Miss Mia. Not really a sister here. I just happen to like PA when I used to live in the East Coast. So there's Calibri taking accountability and being very honest, not to leave her confused. So good for you. And that's how we react to people. And Mia, that was really sweet of you to apologize too. So I think we have a good, healthy group. So if you guys haven't subscribed yet, are we doing 3,000, 5,000? I gotta get this planned. But you ate a lot of salads. Sometimes they mess with your stomach. Oh, maybe that's why my stomach hurts. um, no, I've been eating them my whole life. I don't think. Huh? Interesting. Could be. Could be. I uh, I really miss grilled chicken sandwiches from Burger King. Um, I lived on those. Like I love those, but they don't make them anymore. The one thing that upsets my stomach is Subway. Subway, I'm so basic. I get ham, shredded cheese, toasted, and lettuce. Sometimes I'll add vegetables, but for the longest time, that's all I got. And they tear my stomach, like my gut. Something in that bread really bugs me. But yes, I'm a rebel. So Kalibi says, oh wait, Kalibi says I used to go to New Hope, Pennsylvania. Nice town. I think I've been through that. I think I've been through that. Are there any Quakers there or Amish? Or it might just be maybe I use the bathroom on the way through. Dog says, I know a lot of content creators. If you need help with platform and splitting screen. Yeah, I know how to split the screen, but my sound from my participant is not good. Um, Sometimes it faded out. Other times it was choppy. At first, I thought I had my microphone, my headset plugged in, and because I was like, I can kind of hear it, but I was talking to my mom on the phone, so I think any sound that picked up was off the phone. So we redid it, and I unplugged my headset, and I was able to get a little bit, but it still faded out. So my mom is in the nursing home. I don't know how good the internet connection is. Um, I could hear her, but it didn't always pull her audio. So I don't know. I did see something about the bandwidth or whatever it is that the quality might not be as good. Um, so I don't know if I had to pay for something. I'd like to do a couple free ones before I do that. I just need the sound from both of us to show up in the recording. So if you ask somebody, if I know how to split screen it, I know how to record it. Make sure they know it's recorded, split screen, and I can't hear the participant good on the audio recording or the video audio recording. So that would be amazing if you can find out tomorrow because I do it Monday night, and that would be great. Who's your favorite content creator? I'm just teasing. I'm not gonna put you on the spot. Nia says K Flyer, not too sure where's New Hope. I think maybe Lancaster County. For some reason that sounds right. Dog says I want to go back east to go antique shopping and thrifting. I'll go with you. Yeah, I just did the antique shopping. What was it, 2 weekends ago or 3 weekends? That was fun. John says, remember I told you I wanted to get that unicycle, microphone stand, and a guitar. So thank you. You guys are still giving me those thumbs up, those likes. It really does help because we're going to do a convention. We're going to meet each other in person so you can see just how tall I am. Um, John says, and I'll wear heels. How's that? 10,000 subscribers and I'll wear heels. Dog says, may have to do with her internet or maybe needs a mic. Yeah, the thing is on the phone it was coming through. So it was like dead silent sometimes. I, uh, I can allow I, are you saying on my podcast? Because all my videos, maybe you guys can test that for me. I can't always test from the other side. All my videos should have closed caption. I don't know if you have to click it. Um, I used to go through and manually do it, but I think the only thing I was changing is how I spell Schiller. When they auto word type it, it's SCH, there's no C in it. I was like, this is exhausting. um, so yeah, I probably have 150 videos, 200 videos where I'd have to go through and change that. So if you guys can let me know on one of the recent ones, if you can access the closed caption. I did hear that that was supposed to help with the algorithm, but I think it does it automatically. I'm not sure. So maybe I should go through and do that on each one. Um, so John says I've done some special effects with split screen. How do you do that? You gotta let me know how to do that. I'd like to know that, John. And Dog says may have to do with her internet. Could be. Um, and if you're saying would that help as far as the podcast to allow the closed captions, I need a little higher quality than that. I don't want people having to read it. And it's not going to have her audio to pick up what she's saying. So I try to have closed captions. I'll have to double check that. I think I might need somebody's help. Do I have a volunteer? Mia says Dog Defender PA is good for that. A lot of that stuff here. So maybe we'll do it in Pennsylvania. They got some beautiful land out there, though. Mia says yes, please, to the closed caption idea. I am so deaf. Um, I'll double check. I don't know if I can check because when you're in like the control, it shows up for me. So I'll write that down, Mia, because I think you just had to hit that CC button on my video, on anybody's video, but maybe not. I'll double check that somehow. Dog says, I know. I watch a lot of shows where they are. I'll update that if I need to because yeah. I love sign language. I studied that for 3 semesters. Took 2 semesters in Michigan, then went across the border to Canada because they or no, I took one. Yeah, 2 semesters, and I took one in Canada because they didn't have any more where I was. Update closed captions. So yeah, any advice you guys have for me or little things like that? It says not available as far as the closed captions. Can I do that now? Maybe you're saying engage with your audience. Nope. Hold on, guys. If you're talking about now, um, I don't see how to do that. Um, engage with, no, it's just giving me, I can start a poll, start a question and answer. You don't have access to this feature. I just had the basic. Okay, manage. Let's see. Oh, I hope it doesn't kick us out though. It's not letting me click. What is this right here? Send feedback. I might not have the capabilities. I can do it afterwards. So Uh, I guess we're reading it. So, oh, you can't, yeah, to hear me. I don't see where to do that. I'll have to find that out. I'll figure that out. Um, and I'll do that for the live if I can. Are you guys having a hard time hearing me? And I know, yeah, some people are harder of hearing. It says not available. Um, yeah, it's like $1,000 to get like a year. It, I have to check into. I wish I knew what everybody else was using. Oh, you said you know some content creators. What I would like is I would like to be able to uh, screen caption like uh, I don't know, something that somebody's, I don't know, he divorced me, now what? So I can put that little text up there. I think you've seen it like Raw Motivation does it. He divorced me, now what? And then they talk about it. I'd like to be able to do that. Maybe add a subscribe button or my channel name or little uh, logo. So anything you guys know on how to make these better. So if you know any content creators, I just don't know what is it called now? Um, streaming software. Uh, it's not a buffer. I can't remember the right word. Uh, and there's certain links. Like I thought I had a free trial, but it wasn't like taking anything. And I think it gives you more options on editing or so mine are unedited right now because of that. So feel free to help me out. I'll be forever grateful. So, oh, this one you just tried. Many people ask on a lot of channels, uh, and me for it. So, do you see it with a moderator or me, whatever the YouTuber that you see their voice in real time? I am allowed to chat with you guys. I do have a little chat box like you guys do. You guys are awesome. Thank you for your patience and helping me. Uh, I've only been doing this for a year. And Mia says, dog prayers for the young man being searched for. Yeah, sometimes, oh, that's probably per video. And there's like 150, 200 out of 500 that I haven't updated it. Um, okay. So Mia, thank you for that. I guess it is necessary that I go back and do that. It'll take me a little bit of time to do that, but always you can always tell me the title too, and I'll do that right away for you too. Within my first checking, I can do one by one because I do want to make that accessible. I didn't realize that. I wish I knew that earlier. Um, so Mia is asking K Flyer, are you in PA? Calibri says, if you have a smart TV, you can stream YouTube and get Cynthia there. Or if your phone is capable to connecting to your TV, you can stream it too. I wonder if I can log in and have the TV in the back showing it. That'd be kind of cool. Um, I don't know. I wonder, can we do that? I think, hmm. I think there's a block to where you can't literally do that. Um, Dog says, "Thank you, Mia. We def need it." After 45 searches, turning up lots of skeleton remains. We still have no more leads. Have they solved some murders though, or missing people? Um, oh, that's so sad. But in a way, it's a blessing that they're finding the remains. Oh, so horrible. And then with all the animals and the heat, decomposition, composition. So tongue tied. Gleeby says, I'm in um, com- composition. No, I can't even say it. Composting, put it that way. Um, so, uh, the little boy was here. You're spacing out, Miss Schiller. It's happening again. It's happening. No, I'm okay. Just an airhead. Kalibi says, I'm in Seattle, Mia. Kalibi says, I used to live in Brooklyn, New York. John, I've tried streaming to a flat screen TV, but it never worked. You have you need a smart TV to do that. Just like Kalibi just said, I had to scroll down. Mia says, I do at times, Cynthia, you come in and out at times. normal, then low at times, not all the time. Ooh, uh, do you think it's my end or, because I can connect to Ethernet. Um, I brought this down so I could have the fireplace in the background instead of the little kid. Oh, that if you scroll through my thing and you see a lot of kid, uh, like a preschool kind of thing, most, probably 75% of those have um, uh, closed captioning already enabled. But I'll go ahead and go through and do that. Glad you guys told me that. I wish I knew that. I would have so been keeping up on it. So dog says, no, I hear you because I'm on headset. Um, let me scroll down. Oh, come on. Sometimes it bebops and it bebopped again. So, oh. And okay, one sec. Yeah, I'm almost caught up, guys. I do at times, uh, low at times, not all the time. Is it when I move? I don't know. Uh, so you're on a headset. You're quite hard of hearing. You read lips. Headphones up, high help. Otherwise, I always use captions tomorrow. Okay, so I see what you're saying. So yeah, it's going to take me a little bit of time to do that. But if you have a favorite one you want to hear, um, I'll start working on that. I'll probably do like, I don't know what I can do, 30 to 50 of them a day to kind of update them. Kind of uh, book. So the first couple days, probably about 10 for 2 or 3 days because I have to get that podcast thing ready. So, uh, Mia says my family's from Brooklyn. See, we got this whole little networking going on. Dog says I'm going to send you to a content creator I like a lot. She is in New York. She is also a smaller channel, but is very knowledgeable. I wouldn't mind doing a podcast with her. Eh, knowledgeable in on narcissism, or does she do other stuff? I would love to collaborate with her for a video. John says, I've been doing research on a new type of liquid metal that can change shape just like in the Terminator movies. Ooh. Huh. Be careful it's not mercury. Play it safe. Um, Dog says, my new neighbors just moved here from Brooklyn. Oh my gosh. Um, New York can be quite expensive to live in. Clearly, I used to live there back in the late 70s and moved to Queens in the 80s, then moved out of state to Washington in 1983. Do you like it better in Washington? Is it a little bit more slow paced? Um, Mia says, dog defender, oh, bless you. We are both in the same situation. Thank you for your comment. And I'm glad you guys told me. I don't have the best hearing either. It's decent, but I was going deaf when I was 8 years old. Dog says, what situation are you in? You hit in upper left a phone of large box. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? They have found a lot of missing. Bringing closure was very cool. My narc from Queens, New York. Oh gosh. My mother-in-laws and all other family on Long Island. Is Long Island really beautiful or expensive? I don't. You hear about it, but I don't know about it. Mia says, so sorry, dog. Your comment on being deaf and reading lips closed caption is only way I can hear. Headphones, I have to hold them to hear. So that's good to know. I will try to accommodate that for you. Mia says Washington State. Wow, all the way across country. I hear it's a beautiful state. We're pretty lucky. The United States is really beautiful. Kalibi says my friends and I used to go to Hope, Pennsylvania, and did some bar hopping. Uh oh, naughty boy. Dog Defender says Mia, yes, it is tough, and people always say you don't you don't look deaf. I'm sorry, what does deaf look like? It looks like you. But yeah, yeah, it's weird. I hear some pitches and tones, but not all. My boyfriend is deaf 100% or best friend. I don't know, BF, boyfriend or best friend. Um, and I had a neighbor that she was completely deaf. And yeah, they look the same. And then sometimes people will lose their hearing after they're, been alive for a while, and they can sound um, like the average person, and that can kind of cause people to not quite believe them sometimes, and that's got to be frustrating. What do you guys think about the cochlear implants? I know there are some deaf people. Once they get their hearing, they hate it. Some people are thankful for it. I think a lot of it has to do if you were born deaf or not. Um, 'Cause I'll tell you what, at the school, it can be overwhelming with the sounds. Um, Kalibi says, Mia, Washington State is beautiful. I could compare it to small towns in Denmark. It gets rainy and dreary during the winter, but we have beautiful spring and summers here. Dog says that is to turn show into TV. Oh, the box. Okay. See, I'm so naive on technology. I'm learning. John says it's a metal called gallium that melts at a low temperature. Is it a silver looking one? I think I've seen gallium. Uh, at a low temperature range, but it is mixed with tiny nanoparticles of metal, which respond to magnetic fields. So here we have more magnets. What would I guess if it was in movement, those magnets would retain their polarization. Isn't that interesting though? If you think about humans, if we stay stagnant, that happens too. There's got to be that friction. Mia says to Kay, "That's cool. You and your friend today. I seen a topless club. I cannot believe I saw that. I thought those bars died out in the 70s on Long Island. I remember them being closed down. They are still in existence. COVID took a hit on some of them. It was interesting. Like at Deja Vu, the girls were able to dance naked, but they had to wear a mask. So it's something like, you can see us, just not our face. So Dog says both Long Island is both beautiful. Okay, that's what it was. I heard it was expensive. That's what's clicking in my head. Best friend. Okay, best friend. Thank you. Kalibi says I used to frequent the very tip of Long Island cherry and pine groves during my younger years. And Fire Island. Mia says, Cynthia, Long Island is beautiful. I lived there all my life. It's expensive now to live there, but my best place in the world, again, my opinion, to grow up as a child. No place like Long Island. Hmm. Well, you were a lucky one. Yeah. And sometimes too, it probably is extremely beautiful. But we also sometimes have fondnesses just because that's what's home to us too. That I believe is supposed to be beautiful. Mia says, yes, Cherry Island on Fire Island. Dog says, my niece is raising 3 kids in Bethpage. Is that Bethpage, New York? I don't know where Bethpage is. I didn't realize there's that many islands. I guess Michigan has quite a few islands too. My uncle actually owns an island. Isn't that crazy? But I don't know if with all the ice and stuff, you like there are some people in Michigan, they get stuck. They're there for months on end sometimes. Um, I love the water though. That's definitely my favorite. Oops, let me scroll down. So Kalibi says, yes, Mia, great dance clubs in Cherry Grove. A more conservative part of the island is the Pines. Not sure about those these days. Oregon is the strip club capital of the world, too. Dog says Bethpage is a city in Long Island. Oh, oh, so there's cities within. Okay. That's kind of like out in Los Angeles. I was riding the bus when I went out there. I was visiting my uncle, and they're like, what city are you staying in? I'm like, Los Angeles. I know what city. And I'm like, Los Angeles. And yeah, he lived in Hollywood for a while and then moved to a different city. So you're going to send me a map. Awesome. So, yeah, I got my, email, checking on your emails. Um, so, Mia says, "I love Bethpage, great area. I want to go back so bad." Maybe we'll have it there. It's beautiful, the weather, salt air, the history, and yeah, the ocean air is different, isn't it? Yeah, we have fresh air here. You guys, there's something about the ocean. Like, I love the sound of the ocean. You grew up near Hollywood. Yeah, my uncle could see it, the Hollywood sign out his back window. So, uh, did you ever go to like Rodeo Drive and all that kind of stuff? That was kind of neat. I got to do that. And Bethpage is a town on Long Island. You're a lake girl. Yeah, I like swimming in the ocean a little bit. I get a little scared. I can go into like my waist or maybe, you know, mid chest, but I don't want to be taken with the undertow. And I did get bit by that man or stung by a man o' war jellyfish. And then sometimes you see, stingrays washing up. And when I flew into Florida, you could see sharks and sometimes there's dolphins, but yeah, it gets scary. Uh, John says my family and I spent 3 weeks at Jersey Shore years ago. Did you see Snooki? And I can't even remember their names. Talk about, were they narcissists? What were they? Clibby says Bethpage is one of the train stops of Long Island Railroad. Are you impressed that I figured that out? Heading out to Fire Island. Hmm. So is there train tracks that cross over? That's kind of cool. You don't see train tracks going to uh, a lot of islands here. So I'm curious if that's what you mean. But Mia says, I am not an ocean person. Afraid knees me to Cynthia. But the island, the history, the culture, and togetherness, people helping people, the salt air is great for a sinus. It's great for a sinus. Watch out for your car, though. But you're right. It does. It helps you uh, clear those sinuses. John says, actually, my sister got grabbed in on her toe by a crab. Oh, not good. Dog says I worked in Beverly Hills, so I had to go there often. My male best friend worked in Beverly Hills too. We would meet and grab awesome food. Very. I'm too good for you folks quite often. What do you mean by the last stage? Oh, that you went to Beverly Hills. What's your favorite food out there? Fancy food? I'm still, and that's the thing, I could eat at a little fancier restaurants. I still just like home cooking. Just give me my home cooking. Mia says, yes, it is Dog Defender. Old Bethpage is on way the South Shore route. What do you guys say, route or route? I fluctuate. I'm a people pleaser. Dog says, here were people that acted like they were too good. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that. So you had to work in Beverly Hills, and yeah, they had that little attitude. Um, yeah, that's hard to deal with, you know. And people need to start being a little more cautious on how they judge a book by its cover. You think of that Pretty Woman movie where she goes in, not she's kind of dressed a little sleazy, and she's not helped, she's like, I got money. And she comes back after buying all those things, kind of little, ha ha, back at you. She's like, you made a big mistake. I just bought all this stuff. And then there's regret, and it's too late. Dog says, I used to love Leon's chop chop salad. Ooh, the garlic rose and a couple really neat places. Oh, you guys are getting me hungry. Don't make me break my diet and have to go eat another salad. um, yeah, you guys. I love steak though. That's what we'll have. I love steak and chicken marsala, and um, I just can't believe I don't have a sweet tooth anymore. I was like addicted to sugar. It's really bad. Sugar can be addicting. And I don't drink pop anymore. I mean, I'll have some, but I used to have a 2 liter of Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke a day. And then I switched to Diet Pepsi. But uh, Not anymore. I'm good about that. I just have seltzer water at the school. They have a pop machine, and I was drinking the Diet Pepsi, but I'm like, "No, I'll just drink seltzer water." Um, Gives you the fizz, and it's cold, and whatever the soda, I think it's called seltzer water. Um, Mia says, "So sorry, K Flyer. Yes, the train South Shore route goes to Bethpage and on through." Dog says, "I didn't eat all day. I just made a girlfriend uh, vegan quesadilla." Um, what's GF? Um, Good Foods. What's GF? GF. I'm trying to figure it out. Slash. Is it called a girlfriend quesadilla? I try. I don't know. Calibre says the only thing that I've noticed here is Seattle freeze, meaning people will show they like you, but you don't get invited to their homes. Is surfacey and or shallow in a way. Yeah, and that's gluten free. Duh, that was really bimbo of me not to understand that. That's I need to do gluten free. Uh, Not medically. I haven't been diagnosed with it, but I do feel better when I go gluten free. And it's nice that the gluten-free stuff has gotten a lot better. It was terrible before. Um, so that is, yeah, a lot of people just want to keep things superficial. People don't know how to have deep relationships. They don't take the time for it. Everybody gets caught up in Facebook or um, shallow things, you know. And it's sad. It's not like the olden days. Kalibi says, not unlike when I used to live in the East Coast. When people like you, then they will extend an invitation for coffee, tea, or even a barbecue during summer. And there are different areas where it does seem more prevalent that people are open to that. It's interesting how that works, you know. Also, the different countries, the different cultures, openness, or, you know, people in Japan stand a lot closer, you know, and it is like not in our comfort level. Um, Mia says, K Flyer, I think I would love that state. I love rain. I had one time wanted to go to Alaska because I had heard it rains 266 days out of the year. The rain is soul soothing to me. Um, and it's your personal, yeah. Um, so I'll tell you what, as long as I'm inside, it can, or camping, as long as things don't get wet. But to hear the rain, that is nice. I even like a thunderstorm, you know. As long as I know I'm safe. Dog says, "No worries, it's a niche." We say niche, niche. I fluctuate between that too. If you don't have to follow a diet, no reason to know. Sadly, I have to search for gluten-free or and vegan. It gets tricky, but any mistake, not worth it. Oh, so you are sensitive to it. Yeah, some people get really harsh pains with that too. We're sick. Dog says, I like rain at night. That's when I like it too. And light sprinkles. I love walking in my rain boots. That is the best. That brings back childhood memories for me. We used to be able to like splash around and bring our umbrellas. Umbrellas were always so exciting. Calibri says, Mia, it's light rain, not unlike Florida type heavy drenching rain. Oh my gosh, the worst rain well, there's two. Michigan, I was caught in the middle of a tornado and you had walls of water. But Fort Lauderdale was the other time it was the heaviest. Dog says it is awful after like 3 to 4 days to recover. Oh, do you guys have like flash floods and mudslides and all that good stuff? That's something you gotta consider too. And I had one place in Michigan. I was actually in a flood zone. I had 5.5 acres, and the creek was way in the back. But it was really nice when it flooded. It flooded into my yard, and I'd like I don't even know 2 acres a yard, and then 3.5 of the woods. But it would flow. It looked like a little river in my backyard. I loved it when it flooded. Like, why can't it flood all the time? Mia says, K Flyer, yes, barbecue, coffee, and a bagel. Oh, that sounds good. I love bagels. Oh my gosh. I grew up on bagels. Dog says, "I have 0 desire to be in Florida ever. I lost all my closest friends to the state, but not one thing about it is appealing." And when you say you lost your friends to the state, do you mean that they moved there? They have a lot of migration towards Florida, um, but they also have, like, some drugs and crime, so I'm not quite sure what you mean by losing them to Florida. Um, so it's changed, since I used to always wanna go there, but it has definitely changed. Um, of course, it's, probably gonna fluctuate on where you are. So you guys are great with those thumbs up. I appreciate that. But Defender says many moved back or they moved. Okay. So yeah, it's amazing how many people end up going there. But have you ever lived there? That's one of my favorite states. Oh, you're asking Dog Defender. I'll let Dog answer too. But I was in Tampa. I taught in Rockledge, which is by Cocoa Beach. So I lived there for a while. I liked, it's changed though. Like I liked it when I was there. Um, Last time I went, there's cops with guns drawn just going down the 95. It's like, okay. And in town. So they had a lot of cops. Lot like always, high per capita, cops per capita. It was amazing how many they had. Um, Mia says, "We love you, Cynthia. You are the best." Aw. But like I said, I really hope that we grow this. I really hope that we get a chance to meet each other in person. So, there's a lot of trauma that we've been through. And, by helping each other and sometimes just a little bit of time where we can express our feelings, be understood, validated, where people don't tell us that we're crazy or just get over it, to where our voices are heard. We lose our voice with a narcissist. And, you know, you deserve to be loved. So I love you guys too. And I'm glad you're here. So I've been trying to log in pretty much nightly. I think I've only missed one night. I can't remember. Mia says Florida. Everyone says Florida is too humid. I love the streets. When you drive, the streets sparkle like diamonds. And yeah, we each have different things that we love. The weather, cannot. You can't stand heat or humidity. Do not like bugs. There are too many. I don't like the cockroaches they have there. What are they, palmetto bugs or whatever? I went down there, I stayed in a hotel, and I took my hair, wrapped it in a towel and let it down, and there was literally like a palmetto bug, like right stuck in my hair, like right by my face. I freaked out. Oh, and then I had another one in a shower, and they're so big, like rats dropping out of stuck in my hair, all tangled in there. Oh, I still remember it. I still remember exactly where it was. I can feel it. So yeah, I don't like bugs. There are too many crazy wildlife creatures that do damage. I get scared of the crocodile. I had a place where it had a pool with an enclosure, um, and then wildlife sanctuary, and there's a little creek, and you could hear crocodiles or alligator crocodiles, whatever, splashing in there at night. It was scary. So I was kind of scared to swim at night, even though they could be there whenever they wanted to. Uh, and mosquitoes, yeah. I hate mosquitoes too. Mia says, Dog Defender, those big palmetto bugs, they fly too. They are gross. I agree with you. Dog says, I have zero love for humidity. No seums. Oh, the no seums. We have those here. Those little tiny bugs that they're super microscopic and they just uh, uh, hoover. Um, Dog says mosquitoes. Yeah. Kaliwi says from the last stop of the LIRR, we take ferries going to Fire Island. I hate it when Bigfoot comes around. That's me. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, for how tall I am, I got cute little feet. Um, yeah, I teach a class on Bigfoot, and it's so funny. I do it on the Loch Ness Monster too, where I get the kids that are trying to decide if it's real. And I'm like, "Do you see that?" It's a fun class. I give them a little breakdown of it, and I show these super fake video or pictures, and they're like, "Oh, I see it, I see it." And yeah, it's cute. There's no Bigfoot. It was a hoax. Oh, also my nose starting to run. I'm sick. Mia says, "Dog defender, me too, can't breathe. Sticky, yucky, no, not my cup of tea. Pennsylvania is bad for that humidity." So, yeah, I had it where it was, sometimes, yeah, when I was in shaman over in China, that was, oh, it was so hot, and they would wear like, they're afraid of the sun, not afraid, they don't want any sun on them. So they would wear full body suits, like scuba diving suits, and head wraps, and oh, those kids were so hot. I was like, "Oh, this is abuse." Those kids were crying. They were so hot. We were waiting, to go on like a sailboat. That was fun, but so hot for those kids, and hot for me too. But it's just, yeah, humidity can be too much. Yeah, alligators scare me. I was supposed to go down to Florida with a friend of mine, and you guys are great with a thumbs up. Thank you. So I saw some of the pictures of the trip. She still went with her husband, but they're out on the boat on Lake Okeechobee and all the alligators. I'm like, I would have freaked. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise. I don't know. She still wants to take me back there. They go a couple times a year. That scares me. The alligators really scare me. She wants to do the airboat rides. Kate, hold on. John, you're so silly. Uh, Mia says, "Me too, can't breathe, sticky, yucky. No, not my cup of tea. Pennsylvania is bad for the humidity." Uh, Mia says, "Kay, yes, you take the ferry from Bayshore to Fire Island's Cherry Island." Dog says, "The alligators are not my thing." A little boy, oh, yeah, he was like 2 years old, I think. He was in that like creek portion, and they were hosting a kids outdoor movie. Is that what it was? He was inside the property. I remember that, in about 3 inches of water. It was so sad. You were so sad. He was only like 2 years old. How many years ago was that? 15 years, something like that. 20. It was a while ago, but I remember hearing about that. John says, in 1977, I actually did get a close glimpse. You did? Are you being sarcastic, or do you believe that? Um, and I'm not being condescending. I'm being like legit. Did you? I don't know if you're being silly. Um, and as there are things that we see that we can't explain sometimes. Mia says, "I mean, you can go from." I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes it flip flops. Uh, oh, you're correcting yourself. I mean, you can go from Bayshore on bus to get ferry to go to Fire Island. Dog says, "Uh oh, John, have you seen the show with like a dozen men on the hunt for Bigfoot? They were calling Sasquatch. Was it Sasquatch? What are the other things that they call it? Yeti? See all these things you're learning? I just saved you guys $10. You don't have to take my Bigfoot class." uh, oh, I think one is booger. And what were the other words? Uh, I wish I could screen share with you guys. I could show you all the crazy classes I have. Oh, that's what I got to do tomorrow. I got to make my health class. I have 7 classes. They did a class buyout. Um, for my online teaching outside the saving up for my house and saving up my trip to meet you guys. So Mia says that alligators come up to your door. Oh, my grandparents lived in Fort Myers. I would freak. And John, that's what you saw. Calibri, now I remember the train stop in Bayshore where we can connect to the ferries to Fire Island. Mia, them gators are crazy big, not afraid of nothing. Oh, they're not? I see. She told me, she's like, they're more afraid of you. I'd faint if I ever saw a big alligator. Yeah. Kalibi says, reason why and they can run faster than us. I think they're 25 miles an hour. I can't remember, but they're pretty fast. Um, they, You know, they used to tell you to go zigzag. I've heard that, but then I just saw something too. They're like, no, that's not. I don't know. I think by the time you zigzag, they've already gotten you though. Um, I would too. I'd faint too. Kalibi says the reason. Oh, and the thing is that you can actually hold their mouth closed, because they have a really strong bite force, but they can't open real easy. So like we probably could. Don't try it, but you probably could hold it. At least a strong man. But I think somebody like me might be able to hold it closed. But as far as that, the downward, they're super strong. You can't hold it that way. I'm not gonna try to freak out. Cleby says reasons why I don't want to move to Florida. Lots of gators and creepy crawlers like poisonous snakes. And I know when I was in Tennessee, they had was it cotton mouth or cottonhead snakes that it was really sad. Is a Percy Priest Lake where somebody jumped and off into the water, and it was like a nest of cottonhead, whatever they're called, cottonhead snakes that are poisonous, and the person started like drowning. So they two other people jumped in, and they all died. They just jumped too close to. So those are real scary. That's why I don't want to tent camp out there or swim in their lakes because of that. That's one nice thing about we do have some snapping turtles, but the waters are pretty safe out here in Michigan. Um, so Mia went that way when she went to Fire Island. John says I saw something back then that looked like one about 8 feet tall at the edge of a field. It's probably my brother. I told you we were really tall. That's kind of creepy. Maybe it was a chimpanzee or something. What do you think? Wow. How'd you feel about that? Did it scare you, Jen? I'd be scared. Um, huh. Dog says, "Oh, Hell." No. Um, He. See how my mind works. He double hockey sticks. I've heard that too. He double hockey sticks. No alligators near my house. The little boy incident. Correct that. There's no way it's 2026. That hasn't happened yet. 2006. Is that what you mean? Because that's 3 years in the future. Uh, 2006. Unless you mean 16, 2016. Why did I say it was further ago? So, um, but I do remember it. Cloud of Dishonor, Memphis police chief disbands Scorpion unit after Tyree Nichols' death. So I already updated you guys. You didn't have to wait for that breaking news by my Wave browser, which I keep trying to disable. It's harassing me. Mia says, "Dog, there's no snakes in Ireland." We can go there. Here in Pennsylvania, copperhead snakes, scary. I don't like them either. And yeah, I don't either. Dog Defender says Nancy Grace had her twins and they were in a golf cart. An alligator chased them. Nancy Grace said she was terrified because the alligator was faster than her golf cart. Oh, I bet, especially with the twins. She's got, what is it, Lucy, and I can't remember the boy's name. She has boy girl twin. Mia says, my grandpa had a baby gator stuffed and sent it to my dad. I remember, thank God she got away though. What was it? Her husband was murdered too. So could you imagine all that trauma? Um, So Mia says, my grandpa had a baby gator stuffed and sent it to my dad. I remember when my dad got it, he was all happy. Ooh, dead animal, thanks. Some people like it. They have a lot of dead alligator heads or caiman or crocodile heads. Just, yeah, you'll see a lot of those for sale in the stores. Dog says, and you're saying stuff though, but um, Dog says, my in-laws and my narc from Ireland, beautiful place. Many Irish people are very sweet. Many though. Yeah, 2016. That sounds right. Yeah. Uh, Very sad. Can't imagine. And that's the thing. It brings back a memory where I think it was an 8-year-old. His dad took him to a monster truck thing, and something went wrong, and the monster truck like did some somersaults and killed the boy. And you think about it, it's like those parents with that little boy and the monster truck dad, it's like they're like saving up and they're so excited to bring this beautiful opportunity to their child, and it's going to be the best day of their life, and something so tragic like that happens. You got to think they're probably kicking themselves like, man, I wanted, oh, it's making me sick. I know. Mia says, Dog Defender, have you ever seen the video of the gator climbing the metal fence? Oh, I haven't. Was it straight up? Was it chain link? At least something to grab onto, but oh, that'd be scary. Dog says, Scorpion unit was to teach and model de escalating. Oh, you're kidding. That is a joke. Um, Gosh. Dog says, John David. Are you talking to John Moran? Um, John David. Oh, Nancy's husband, right? Is that Nancy's husband? If I remember. No, Mia, but not surprised. I'd be freaking out. You guys are great. I got another thumbs up. So, oh, the son's name. It's clicking. The son's name is John David, right? I got it just in time before you popped that up. Jeez. Yes, it popped up just in time. And so, but you're correct. Thank you, dog. Takes me a while sometimes. I'm ancient, 52. The brain's not working all the time. Um, and yeah, as far as studying too, they say that sometimes the way you study, if you take intermittent breaks, sometimes you get overloaded on things, and it affects memories. I love learning. But yeah, I kind of get bits and pieces. So uh, yes, it takes a little bit of time to recall, because that I attribute it a lot to like the years of trauma. I am very smart, but sometimes it's almost like you get tongue tied, or what's that word? And um, I think in 10 years from now, I might blame it on old age, but I don't think I should be blaming it on old age yet. Mia says, Cynthia, how about the story about the boy decapitated, thrown from the I know. There's several stories of that. I guess when I was a little girl, I was like 2 years old or something, and it's called the Mill Run, I think, in Cedar Point, where, unless it was Bablo Island, maybe it was Bablo. It's a wooden um, roller coaster, and I think that's why my dad never let us go on wooden roller coasters, is that it took off and they didn't have me secured, and I was frightened, and I was trying to crawl out, and it was a slower roller coaster, but still a decent one, not like you're crazy. um but yeah, my mom was holding on for dear life. Luckily, didn't I survived, but you see faulty um equipment. I was at Cedar Point in that demon drop where you're way up and then it crashes down. My brother's friend, I was there that day. Um, so it was a schoolmate of mine, but a friend of my brother's. They were stuck up there for like 3 hours, and that was scary. But yeah, Mia, oh, yeah. Dog says, you also carry so much stuff stuffed into your head. I do. And a dog says, "You're older than me." Okay, so I feel young. I don't always feel young. Um, but that's okay. Age is just a number. It's what we feel inside. And that's why there's hope for us. Don't get down in the dumps on what stage your life is in, whether you can start over, or some people give up. My grandfather was 98 and a half. My aunt was, she 90, I think she was 92. or 93 when she had her pacemaker. I think she lived to around 98 too. Um, ever since I had my daughter, I can't handle rides as much. Especially like the teacup and the spinning ones. I used to love that. Uh, I really like some of them, but I almost can't handle any of them. And I don't like the plunge. I don't like that. Um, it does something to me. And then I have trauma too from one of those, the Galaxy ship or whatever. I can't, Rototron, or I can't remember what it's called, where it just goes around. It's like a spaceship, the gravitron, and it like holds you back, and you can kind of get up on the wall. Um, so as we're getting off, this girl vomits all over me. Motion sickness can be wild. Yeah. No, thank you. And have you ever gone to the ocean or the wave pool, and you're doing that all day on the waves, and then you go to bed and you can still feel, and you're laying completely still, and your body's still moving. It's kind of a weird sensation. So, what other topics would you guys like me to cover? I was thinking about doing. I did it today with the uh, PPD, the paranoid personality disorders, any information, any different kinds of, do you want more on borderline, bipolar? Do you enjoy that it's mainly narcissism? Because there's so much mental illness in this world. I just saw this one, I want to say it's a man that was transitioning to a woman, but so I don't know exactly how to refer to it. Uh, I believe I'm not sure what they wanted to go by, but was injecting feces into cuts on her leg, and then chainsawed her legs off. Is what I just saw about some mental illness on things that people do. What causes them to go that crazy? So Mia says, John, me, I can't go on any rides. I am like Cynthia. I can't even go on a swing at a. Yeah, I kind of have a hard time with swings now too. I sit there at recess with the kids. I'm like, and I only do recess when I sub for other teachers, but it's like, whoa. John says, I was in a ride that looked like a space shuttle that made you feel you were really riding through space. Ooh, that would be cool. That one I might like. Um, Mia says, dog defender car sickness. You get car sick. Oh, no, thank you. That's why I usually drive. I usually drive myself. So I can see where if you're a passenger, do you get that when you're driving or only when you're a passenger? A lot of people get it when they're a passenger, because it's letting go. You don't have the control, or sometimes you don't know. Also, too, in accidents, that's why the driver usually does better. They can brace themselves because they know they can see in that moment. So if anyone else drives, that makes sense. Yeah. Some people don't like being in the back seat, but I still have that other thing I got going. I told you guys I had that vertigo, and I'm starting to think, do I have a brain tumor? Because it's not going away. Um, and they gave me some medicine for it, but it only helps with the dizziness, but it makes you tired. So I don't even want to take it. Maybe I'll try it tonight. I don't know. Um, but ever since I had mono when I was in 10th grade, I had COVID. What was it? Uh, was it December I had? No, it was in November. I had COVID in November, so I still struggle with the long haul being tired. Um, Mia says, if I drive, no car sickness. I get bad anxiety. If I am lost, I panic. Oh. Um, so be prepared, have that GPS. But yeah, that can get scary. Where do I turn? And um, you just have to tell yourself it's okay. I can backtrack or ask for directions, but I get it. I get it. John says cars will drive us one day, and they're starting to do that kind of stuff, where they have the automatic cars. Um, they have pizza delivery where it's an unmanned car. What about that? What do you think about that? Um, I still remember it's funny. I had a date. Well, I don't even know. It was we didn't even hold hands, but a friend date, I guess you would call it. But, so we're in Detroit, like, Detroit area, and we go across to Canada, and so this was in, like, 1986 to 1988, maybe 1988, somewhere in there. Um, but it was like a 1977 like Ford Fairmont or something. But we're coming back from Canada, and so he's driving like this, and we're going around these turns like perfectly, and I'm like what is going on? Like I see him, his hands are up here, he's leaning back, and I'm like, "How are you doing that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's, like, new technology. It just follows the yellow strip on the side of the road." And I was like, "Oh my god." And then all of a sudden I'm like, "Wait, there's no way. This is such an old car." But yeah, I was sometimes little things like that can be fun, but he's put my life at risk by not using his hands. He was just driving with his knee. Um Luckily, he was really good at it too. Dog says, "Shut the door." I had mono in 10th grade. I had it bad. I missed 2 months of school. It did something to your liver. Oh, I don't know if it ever did anything to mine. My bilirubins, I don't think they've shown that. Um, uh, does that affect you now with the, liver damage? I don't know exactly what would happen. Yeah, it can be quite um, relapsable too. Have you ever had any relapse with it? I struggle with, I used to skip school just to take naps. My high school senior year, I went 42 or 43 days out of 180. All I did was go home and go to sleep. That's 2 years later. So I just needed to sleep, you know. John says, I love the Knight Rider show. The car was awesome. Uh, Kit or Cat? Was it Kit? Kit? It was Kit. I have apps that simulate oh, see, if I if I would just take my time, I wouldn't sound like a bimbo. All I had to do is read 3 more words. So, I did remember it before I read it. Does that count? I'm like a little kid, "Does that count?" I need your validation. Tell me I'm smart. So, that wasn't Michael Hasselhoff, was it? Is that Michael Hasselhoff? Uh, you're laughing at me. Thank you, John. Mia says, Cynthia, please, may I ask if it's okay? Do you have other children? Just one. I had some miscarriages. I wanted more children. So, yeah, I wanted like four. So, at least two, at least two. But, you know, um, yeah. What about you, Mia? Mia's asking if anybody else does. Children are fantastic. But, you know, I do. I do. I have one. Oh, I only have one. I only have one. I had some miscarriages. Um, so I almost bled out. I had a real severe, 45 minutes away from dying. I had to have blood transfusions, and that happened over. I started miscarrying New Year, or I'm sorry, Christmas Eve, and then New Year's Eve. I got admitted and was bleeding out, had to be transferred from the hospital. That was the other thing that was frustrating is I'm telling them I'm bleeding out, and so they make me wait. I had on black sweatpants, so you can't really see, but it's like down to my legs, saturated, and um, so I'm being pushy. Sometimes you got to be pushy. I have a aunt who was super polite. Um, and she lost her baby. She was like 8.5 months pregnant, and they're like, "Oh, we forgot about you." So knowing that story, but then yeah, they're like, "Oh, it looks like whatever you went through, probably passed," and I'm like, "What about, because I'm laying down on the exam table," and they're like, "No, you're probably fine." So they don't listen to you, and then I stand up and like bleed out all over, and they're like, "Oh," so they had to transfer me too. Um, so dog says no damage now, but I had to be on a special diet. As a kid, I wasn't pleased with so many food restrictions. Here at Universal Studios, they have David Hasselhoff's Knight Rider car that talks to people. That'd be neat. I forgot it talks. It's kind of like Alexa. Dog says, Mia, I have 3 kids. John says, I think I've seen that a few people own different versions of the car. Did they bring back the DeLorean? I heard they're bringing back the DeLorean, but are they like lift up or lift out doors now? I think they're doing lift up doors, that they're starting to bring that back. So I'm going to tell you guys lots of love to you. I think that was terrible, and oh, uh, it used to be 1 in 3 births caused the mom to, pass. It was not a good survival rate, back in the day. Um, you say, "Oh, my sincere condolences on your losses. I'm sorry to hear that." Wow. We have quite a bit in common, Mia. Um, we had that in common, bleed out me after a stillborn. Oh, you lost a stillborn. That's hard. That's hard. I always wonder too, which is harder. I never knew the sex, but I think a stillborn actually would be harder. They're very hard. My sister had a really hard time with one where she dissociated from it, and said she almost committed suicide. She felt evil, and she felt like she was outside of her body watching herself. Like she had some severe trauma from it. Um, she's doing good now though. She was able to adopt. So got a beautiful niece. She's amazing. Super sweet. She's my buddy. So yeah, a lot of loss. And you know, uh, my sister ended up getting divorced over it because her husband didn't support her. He didn't understand it. And when she wanted to adopt, he didn't want to raise another man's baby. And uh, even though, my sister didn't have sex with him, it wasn't like insemination type. Um, that surprised me though, because we're not Catholic, but he was Catholic and pretty devout, is what it seemed like. But um, he just didn't want to do that. So, but my sister is definitely happy now. So, but I'm gonna let you guys go. I don't know. Did we just have somebody join in? If we have somebody that just joined in, I can stay on a little longer. Um, but we had a great chat tonight, and tomorrow's Sunday. I gotta go back to school on Monday. So, what do you guys think? 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Does that work for you? Because I love it. I try to kind of mix it up a little bit. So you're welcome. Thanks for joining us for another great live. Feel free to hit that like button, hit subscribe, notification bell will let you know when I'm on live. I guess there's some uh, quirks with it every now and then for some of you, but that notification bell will let you know. Um, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll type it for you guys, in case you. I think that would work. Oops, of course. Got to scroll through it. Like, there we go. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. First thing I do is hit like always, Cynthia. And that helps. It really does. And it kind of pumps me up too, gets me excited. I like that. Um, Thank you for chatting it up with us. 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You are correct. Excellent math skills. Yes. um, John says, okay, Cynthia, take care and take it easy. See you soon. Yeah, I got like 14 more things I got to put away from my laundry, but I was on time today. So lots of love to you guys. You are welcome. And just stay positive. It does get better. And it's a mind shift we're going to have to do. We're going to have to take our power back. And don't worry about the karma. Uh, the karma we have to worry about is that we give ourselves a good life. So, yes, I will take care. I like tea with honey. I do. And reset as much as you can. Sleep well. Yeah. So, trying not to stay up too late so I don't mess up my schedule for school. Good night to all. And you guys, if you want, feel free to keep typing away. I think the chat box will be open for a little bit. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.